Hey, we are now streaming, so that's amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
You go setting up the live.
Perfect. Yeah, the new live streaming on Zoom and Facebook, it immediately goes even though it doesn't tell you it's going. So we're
Hey
definitely
guys, and now you're talking. There
yay,
you
yeah,
go.
go.
By the way, guys, this is Albert Corey, AKK Income Stream Specialist, Business Development. Pretty much anything, any way we can show you how to build your business, increase your bottom line, and change your life. So you see, I come on almost every day. I'm out meeting amazing people and amazing guests, so you don't have to. Always remember while you're watching this, sharing is caring. So if you're watching this, click that little button on the thing on the right-hand corner and share it, because this is knowledge and thinking that you're not going to get anyplace else. Well, today I got an awesome, awesome person, Miss Michelle. Michelle is a breakthrough specialist, coach, brilliant Einstein. So if you're stuck in your life and you hit that roadblock and you don't know how to drill through that tunnel because you're stuck, you can't climb, jump the hurdle, or Miss Michelle is going to show us how to do it. But first, let me tell you something pretty cool. You see, if you follow my 5 steps, to increase your revenue, number 5 here is you go to events. Now, why did I pull this out, Michelle? Where did I meet you?
At an event.
Yes, one of my 5 steps that people need to start to go to events. It doesn't matter whether virtual or doesn't matter whether it's virtual or when we can go back in the world. You need to go to events, and that's how I met Miss Michelle when I did my LA one last year. So, Miss Michelle, how you doing? Tell us where you're from and tell us what you do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Albert, for having me on. And I look forward to sharing with your audience some of the key tips to really overcome a lot of the challenges that we're all facing. I mean, I'm a breakthrough coach and I still face challenges because of this pandemic and other traumas that I've experienced and are experiencing in my life. So I love the fact that I'm able to share with other people the real story, right? The real reason why we get stuck, and give people simple steps to break out of where they're trapped. So Albert, thank you so much. But to answer your first question, I live in Los Angeles, California, and it is sunny. It's a little overcast right now, but typically it's sunny Southern California, and I love living in Los Angeles. It's a great city to be in.
All right, thank you. Well, I wish it was that way. I don't know if you saw my video. By the way, see, I'm always flowing. On Tuesday and Wednesday, see, I was like walking through the water.
No.
I was on Facebook, and we have rentals, and where we're at, the drainage blacked up and had old people, so I had to get like rescue duty and like clean the drains and get them going because the city didn't get out there. So, anyways, Miss Michelle, so I know you're a rescue person. Let's get started a little bit. How did you get started as the person who's going to rescue you, who's going to make you climb that highest mountain?
Well, it's typical with any 12-step program, right? If you don't have a coach that has gone through what you've gone through, you typically don't want to listen to them. So unfortunately, and fortunately at the same time, I have experienced extreme traumas in my life. And because of those traumas, I have been able to turn those adversities into assets, my lemons into lemonade. And I really started off, with a great family, great loving mother and father, but I moved around a lot because of the military. My daddy served for over 30 years in the US Army, which thank you, Daddy, for that. But because I traveled so much, it was hard for me to connect or stay connected with friends and people. So that was hard growing up. And then, when you fast forward to my life in my 20s, I end up meeting this man who I thought was my Prince Charming, blonde haired, blue eyed, really, really handsome. We will call him Paul. And my head went through the drywall about 4 months into the relationship.
Ooh.
And I experienced a domestic abuse relationship with Paul for roughly 4 years, where I endured many traumas that people should never have to experience. But because I experienced that, I was able to really look at my life, to look at my circumstances, and not only teach myself how to climb out and get the resources that I needed to do so, but now I can teach other people to climb out of traumas and discomforts and major obstacles in their lives. And I remember when I first left my abuser, and I sat in front of my computer, and I was just, I needed to get out my story. I needed just to get it out of my soul, to write it down. And that's a key thing, is writing down things that happen to you. Because if you get it out in front of you and you read it back to yourself, well, for me, example, I read it back to myself, and I couldn't believe that it was me going through these traumas and this
All right, can I ask you a
abusive
question?
relationship. Of
How,
course.
I'm not interrupting your story. If I interrupt you because I come up with a question,
No,
how
please go
does
ahead.
reading back, how does writing it down and reading them back to yourself, how could that help me if I'm like going through some doo-doos?
Because it makes it real. So when you actually write things down, whether it is journaling, whether it's full complete sentences, or whether it is writing a book or a play, I did both. Um, when I actually wrote down my situation, it became a reality to me. While I was involved in my trauma, it was hard for me to look at what I was involved with and to process it correctly. So looking back and reading it back to myself, I really thought that that situation was a story I was reading about somebody else. And I didn't comprehend, understand, or accept that I had gone through that. But but now I do. And now that's one of the key things that we teach people to overcome. We have a 5-step module with our masterclass system, overcoming obstacles, and it really helps people to take that next step forward in their lives, to stop being inhibited by crap.
Okay, now that leads me to other questions.
Okay, great.
By the way, if you're watching this, this is unrehearsed, no questions. I do it on the fly because I like it to. I come up with stuff. What's some of the keys that you know that you're really like stuck like Chuck, that you probably going to need help?
Well, there's a variety, especially right now. I mean, the anxiety with people going through this COVID-19 outbreak all around the world that it's causing is
Oh,
quite severe. And really, I even dealt with a lot of anxiety in the beginning stages of this, because we're staying at home. Oftentimes, if you're trapped with your abuser, domestic violence has gone up. Alcohol sales have gone up like 50%. I
by
may
the
be
way,
off on that,
and
but
I'll make you laugh at that. Sorry, in Florida, up until COVID-19, dash was it dash whatever. You know, you couldn't buy alcohol on an app. Now, because of COVID, you can buy your alcohol and they'll deliver it.
well, Albert, it's not just that, it's everywhere in the US. I recently visited my brother in Portland, Oregon. I landed Tuesday, right? Literally just got back to Los Angeles. And when I was in Oregon, I saw people walking around on the street with open containers. And I talked to my ex-sister-in-law and was like, what's going on here? But they have an open container policy because so many people are dealing with stress and anxiety, and so many people are looking for an outlet. So instead of going to those vices, how do we really break through? Well, we teach a whole 5-step process. I can go over that real quickly. I know
Sure,
you've got
that's what I want you. I'm
great.
out here to help businesses and people. See, my my goal in life is increase your bottom line. Is businesses get stuck. You know,
Mhm.
so my thing and my all these podcasts and all these things is it's not just about one and one is two. You know, your businesses is whether you know Facebook, did you eat healthy? How working, you know, how walking, how mental health, how physical health, how you're stuck health, you know. So building a business, and that's been my thing and why I put on this podcast. And that's why I changed it from the Taxman show to increase your bottom line, is because I realized after hanging out with Angel and Tina for a while, it says, no, look, you need to change the title to get more people engaged, so they don't realize that I'm not just talking about, you know, taxes and accounting. So whatever it takes to help somebody who's ever watching this to open up their mind, to get off that roadblock, go do something else in life, well, that's still a business, the business of being successful.
Well,
Like,
yeah, I mean, you're totally right, Albert. And it does take that first step, which is recognize to be able to understand what you're facing. Over 35% of entrepreneurs deal with mental health conditions. Why is that? Why is it that the most successful people in our world deal with anxiety, fear, stress? They inhibit themselves from moving forward. Well, the reason is there's some underlying issue that they might not look at, that they may never see, until you go through a process to go, and you have that aha moment. So those 5 steps that I'm talking about that we
right.
teach, the first one is recognize, accept, and realize what you've gone through. So writing therapy, going to actual therapy, getting out and journaling and going on walks and sitting under a tree and reading a book and actually just giving yourself that time to be with yourself will help you come to those conclusions of what you've faced in your life. And then it's all about elevating your thoughts and then going from your head to your heart to learn how to be in touch with your feelings, to express them healthily, to be able to feel. Because in order to heal, you have to feel. And from thoughts and feelings, then you go to words. You put positive power words all around your house, all around your car, make post-its. And what I mean by positive power words, it's I am enough, I am strength, I am confident, I can do this, I will overcome. We don't stay in the negative thought process of, well, Johnny down the street told me that I couldn't, so maybe he's right, maybe I can't do it. No, we learn and we teach you to elevate in order to put in those positive words all around you. And then also listening to amazing podcasts, reading awesome books. My favorite book during this quarantine has been The Alchemist. I don't know if you've read it, but it's so awesome. And then once you have those great words around you, then there's
But
the
can I
action
tell you
steps.
something funny?
Yes.
That somehow I was listening to a podcast. I was listening to the Lewis Howes show, and I'm listening to, which has got to be the best book ever, is the Kevin Hart book audio.
Mhm.
Dude, if you want to see something that you're gonna learn from and laugh, and by the way, I don't have no Amazon links here, guys, but I can tell you, you're gonna learn and laugh at the same time.
Yeah. Well, it's very important to laugh right now, because if we don't laugh at ourselves, if we don't laugh about what's happening in the world, about, laughing with our friends and having a great time during this pandemic, then what's going to happen afterwards? So we have to break out of this mundane stay at home life is going to end, the world's going to end. We have to look at life that, okay, this is temporary, but how can we innovate? How can we keep ourselves uplifted during the pandemic and then now afterwards? I mean, Albert, I was telling you before the camera started rolling, we talked a lot about Florida and California reopening. And I just got word this morning that one of my favorite restaurants in Woodland Hills, yes, Pickwick's Pub, just reopened. One of my favorite restaurants. And I am super excited to see how we're gonna make the shift, how the new normal is gonna look. But we're still gonna be connected because we have to. We're human beings and we need one another.
So you're saying this Zoom for business is cool, but eventually people are going to stop Zooming if you're like my brother lives about 4 blocks from me, right? And I didn't even see him for because he's older. Sorry, Joe, but you don't listen to Facebook, so it's okay. um, that right. So that at least you're not going to use Zoom to talk to your friends, 3 blocks from here. At least you're going to get out and talk to the local neighbors, right?
Well, Albert, the thing is we don't know what the new normal is going to look like. I actually think that Zoom and all of these applications that we're using to stream are definitely staying. Right. And I mean, if you look at even Facebook is allowing, what is it, 30 to 50% of their employees to stay home and work. Right. So this new normal is going to be much different than, walking across the street and saying, hey, Jane, can I borrow a cup of sugar? The new normal might be, hey, can you hop on a Zoom call with me? I just want to see how you're doing, see if you're healthy, and then maybe we might be able to meet up for a safe cup of coffee someplace with masks on. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
I have a way. Listen, I'm not no engineer, but here's the cool way. Let's figure out, we make a mask. You go to get drinking, that it's got a trap door. Here's the way, guys. I think of how to make money. I'm sorry. I'm not an engineer. I just come up with crazy stuff. We make a mask and you make it so the straw has a, trap door. So you can have your mask, drink your drink, right? And everybody is happy. We'd all be multi-millionaires. I don't have the engineering skills yet. Working on it.
Yeah, great idea, Albert. The thing is if there's a hole in your mask, then there's no point in wearing a mask.
Well, that's my point. I'm not the engineer. Listen, Michelle, this is just a concept on a piece of paper. There's a lot of engineering, there's a lot of engineering else involved, but that was just a thought. Okay. If this was the new normal, I'll make it work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Albert, what do you see that's going to be happening in the very near future? I mean, how do you see our new normal
I see crazy innovations. It's like, I live in Miami, and Miami's all Cuban, if you don't know. And Miami,
I've been there. I love Miami. I've been there.
And all old Cubans, okay, if they can't play dominoes at a park, it's like worse than death. Okay. So what I saw on the news the other day is somebody at Domino's Park. This is what they built, Michelle. A square, where you played your dominoes, plastic, and they played dominoes.
Great.
At a park.
Yes, innovation, right? We have to innovate. And that's what we're doing. Like you and I, we have the same mentor, Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh is the, if you don't know who he is and you're watching, he is probably the most influential and intelligent business person I've ever known and met in my whole life.
And that you can talk to, by the way.
Yes. Oh yeah. That's, I mean, he's on my speed dial. I'm like, Bill, I need your help. He always answers. He's an amazing gentleman. And he is the master at innovation right now. As soon as this pandemic hit, Bill transitioned his entire business, which is primarily events that you go to and speak at, and they're live events. Like I signed on for the entire Inspiration 2020.
Yeah, I was there too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Where, I speak on stages all around the world, and I actually am speaking on 12 of Bill's stages for the Inspiration 2020 conference. Well, as soon as this hit, he had to innovate. He had to go online. He's using StreamYard. He's using other streaming platforms to stream everything. And I think right now he's 5 or 6 days a week where you can find him online.
Except Saturday. He doesn't work. I wait till I talk to him and say, what happened? You don't work Saturdays?
Well, you have to give yourself a break here and there.
But that's his break. That's his love, That's his hobby. That's his love. So if that's his love, if that's your, as I would call it, if that's your crack cocaine, for lack,
Well, I love it that Bill is giving himself at least a day a week to relax. And I know Carla's cooking him dinner a lot. So Bill's not here and we're talking about Bill, so I'm sorry. But
I'm going to tag you, Bill, that we're talking about.
Right, yeah. Really what I was leading into, though, is that he has been such a key influencer in helping people innovate. And innovation is exactly what we need right now. Another really great friend of mine, George Chanos, talks about innovation all the time, talks about the mindset and the skill set that you need for the 21st century, including this pandemic, to really move forward and really make your footprint in the world.
Oh, that's true. All right, let's be something happier now. What do you like to do? I mean, obviously we're out there dealing and willing. If we weren't like not trapped, because I went wherever, what would you like to do tonight? This is actually at Friday nights. You were just saying how Bill had the day off. So what would you be like, oh, I want to get out of your house type deal?
Well, if you know me at all, I like two things very, very much in this world. Number one is scuba diving. I love scuba diving, my favorite things to do ever. I love going 30 meters under the water and looking up at the top of the water and lifting my hand and thinking that I could reach out of the water, but you can't because you're 30 meters down, and just swimming with all of these sea creatures and animals. And I was fortunate. I ended up scuba diving in Hawaii in February, right before I flew to Egypt to speak in March, and then Ghana and Sierra
Wow.
Leone. And it was amazing. I love it. But then the other thing that I love doing is having my glass of wine. If you know me at all, you know that I do enjoy wine. So that's what I would be doing. Have a glass with friends. I'm cooking a lot right now. The quarantine 15 is a real thing. I don't think I've gained 15 pounds, but I do think that I've gained about 7 because I'm making really great things at home.
And you're not running around outside.
Well, I am. I do run. I run about 1.5 to 2 miles, about 3 days a week, which I used to do more, but I would go to the gym. I do miss my gym. 24-hour fitness is where I gym at, and I miss running on the treadmill. I like to run inside, lifting weights, hanging out, and really just talking with people. Movie theaters is something that I miss, but now there's so much on Netflix and so much on Hulu and HBO.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually rewatching Game of Thrones with my housemate. He's never seen Game of Thrones at all, and it's a great TV show. So rewatching that with him, and we're on the last season. So
very good. I like everybody's time, so I don't want to think. What would be, and I got a couple of last questions. By the way, thank you for having me on.
Yeah,
and like
thank you,
I said,
Albert.
you see, she is part of a couple of things. She is part of my 5 events. See, one of my 5 steps events. See, this is one of the 5 that we coach on. Sorry, you just had to get that in. But I lost my thought. What
No,
are
you had a couple of extra questions. So I'm
actually, yeah, they're easy questions.
Okay.
A couple of things is what are and I'll let you go on this. What is the final piece of advice you want to leave for the people that are watching this, that are people on the podcast, and this is to be on YouTube and through the entire streaming world, I guess. I don't know what to call it, but it sounds good.
Well, the whole world is going through something that we've never experienced in this technological time and in this technological era. We've had a pandemic, we had the Spanish flu, we've had some things happen to our world in the past, but this isn't anything that we know how the outcome is going to be. And this is something where every person in the entire world is experiencing what you're experiencing. So if you're having anxiety and if you're having stress, give yourself some time. It's okay sometimes to step away in order to step back in. And it's really healthy if you need to step away for your mental health, for just feeling at peace with your life, with the people around you. So make sure to give yourself that time and know that it's okay to feel what you're feeling, and it's not going to last forever.
All right, now, since you took our time to be out here, now I want to give something back. I want you to tell the world how they can get a hold of you and how they can get a hold of you, any free gift, coaching. Now, for the next segment here, it's up to you to tell them how to get a hold of you, any free gifts, any coaching. Take it away.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And for the people and for the listeners in the United States, all you need is a cell phone. So if you take out your cell phone, then you can text consultation to 26786. Again, it's the word consultation to 26786, and you can get a complimentary 15-minute consultation with me, and we can talk about some of the issues that you're having. I also have a free gift, an actual gift guide that you can use. If you text the word overcoming to the same number, 26786, exactly. So overcoming to 26786, then you'll get the 5-step process to overcome obstacles. It's a 6-page PDF guide. So it's actually really great. Our team put that together, and it nails, it's the hammer on the nail. So make sure that you you text those numbers. And then if you are outside of the United States, I don't believe that the text actually works. So you can find me on social media, MichelleJewsbury.com, unsilencemyvoice.com, and unsilencedvoices.org.
Well, thank you, Miss Michelle. By the way, this is the Taxman Presents, the business interruption income stream. Albert Corey here, your guest, your host. We were with the amazing Michelle. Remember, sharing is caring. If you want to get more of these videos, more amazing content from me, we got two gifts. The first one is you could always get a hold of me. And by the way, Michelle, afterwards, we'll go on the Facebook group and you just go in and put how to get a hold of you.
Okay.
But you can always get a hold of me and get on my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, coaching by going to Albert, ALBERTC360.com. You also can get my amazing infographic, and soon we'll have 5 videos for this that explains everything if you text 26786 taxman. That's 26786 taxman. Later, after we get off the broadcast, I do a little cleanup of it, even though it's always a raw show, but we always put all the links on how to get a hold of us. And like I always say, sharing is caring, guys. We need to spread the word because this is cool information. Even if you're stuck on a pandemic, we can always make somebody else smile by sharing this stuff. Guys, thank you. And we'll talk to everybody soon.
Awesome. Thank you so
Bye.
much, Albert.
Let me shut this off.